What's up, guys? Yeah, that took forever, man. What's up, guys? Another episode of Off the Post. I'm your host, DJ Redcap, and we are talking U.S. Oops, my mistake. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. We are talking Sweden versus. People are angry already. People are mad. We're going to be talking today about Sweden versus Brazil and Germany versus Canada. Yeah, we all know what happened with the U.S. women's national team, but we decided we're troopers. We're going to continue on because Olympics don't stop because one team goes out. And we're going to talk about the other teams, and we're going to have a show for the final, too. Also, we're going to tell you who won that contest today. So the contest for the U.S. women's national team 3-star scarf, I believe it is called. Ooh. So we're going to choose a winner for that. And we have a special guest that you can see down there. He's doing yoga at the moment, as Danica said. So we're going to touch base about himself and what type of shows he does and everything, which is pretty cool. Some of you definitely will be interested in that, and we'll take it from there. So first go and see where in the world is Danica. Danica, how you been doing?
I am good. I am back in Phoenix after being in Denver, and I'm actually here for a longer period of time. So, woo.
That didn't
Are you taking any trips to Ibiza anytime soon, or no?
I am going to San Diego this weekend, though. So.
Okay, close enough. Karen, what have you been up to?
Nothing, just watching the Olympics, working, keeping cool, same as always.
Sounds good. Put that beer down. Stop that now. I like how she did the slow turn with it, like. And now let's see what our special guest. He fits right in, as you can see, guys. Saucy, tell them a little bit about your YouTube channel, what you do, some things you like, and whatever else you feel like.
Hi, so I'm new. So if you want to search anything that I do, you can go on YouTube and type the name Saucy Bird. It's just the alias I picked out. I don't know why I picked out that name, but regardless, I make FIFA 16 videos revolving around the United States Women's National Team. And I mean, considering that there is nobody else out on YouTube that, as far as I know, there could be other people out there that make FIFA 16 videos with the women's national team and whatnot. That's kind of what I do right now. So.
Nice. And so basically they can find you on YouTube at Saucy Bird. It's good that you're doing that because we're one of those shows where no one was doing it. So then we jumped into it. So, I mean, you're probably going to be a pioneer that many people are going to start following down the road. So good for you.
Maybe.
Yeah, right? You never know. No, you never know. Like, I mean, it could happen that way. All right, guys, as always, if you want to say anything to us, use the hashtag WoSoTalk. But if you'd like to know why Danica believes that grilled cockroaches are a delicacy, I'll tell you why, personally. And use the hashtag DJ Redcap. Let's jump right into the show. Sweden versus Brazil. Expectations going into this game. We're going to start with Danica first, since she's not eating right now.
Apparently. No, so I guess I wasn't really too surprised. And so I expected Sweden to do the same kind of bunching defense if it worked last time. We have another attacking team. That would be my strategy if it is working. I expected to see some great ball handling skills from Brazil. I expected Marta to really be going at it. I thought it would be a little bit more entertaining. I don't know, I expected them to maybe kind of learn from the USA game and try and break that down from that. And so I was expecting a little bit more. But all in all, I actually was thinking Brazil would win. Granted, it was obviously they're going to be playing a different style than when they blew them out 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
I still expected with their offensive talent to be able to get out of all those different shots, at least one of them in. But alas, that did not happen.
Karen, your expectations?
That happened. Yeah, I expected Brazil to pull out a win. Just watching Sweden against the U.S., I thought the Brazilians would be able to break down the Swedish defense the way that the U.S. couldn't, just because they'd watched Sweden do it before. And I thought, like Danica said, they'd learn from it. But I think what happened was coach versus coach, and Pia won because the Brazilian coach didn't adapt the way that he should have against Sweden. But I don't know, I was expecting Brazil to have more flair and pizzazz and really get that ball moving, and it didn't happen, so that was disappointing. But yeah, it didn't happen anything like what I expected to happen, honestly.
Okay. And Saucy, what were your expectations going into this game?
Y'all said all the really good stuff. God dang it. I'm trying to think. There were a
They
couple,
always do.
yeah. There were a couple of breakaways that I remember Sweden pulling off Brazil. There was a breakaway from Shaylin that I thought she did really well against. I mean, more so or less, it's just first of all, I expected Brazil to win as well, being considering on home soil, being in Rio and everything. But Sweden, honestly, they've been doing pretty well with the Brazilian crowd and not, taking pressure as much as you'd expect a team facing off like their a team in their home country. Sweden did well. Brazil did well. I thought. For me, it was like entertaining to watch two like world-class teams against each other. Like Karen said, coach against coach. Honestly, that's what it kind of was. Defensive play against a tactical, technical Brazilian style.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. All right, and let's go to you, Danica. You can tell us a little bit about the first half of this game. Thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I thought that Sweden, despite their defensive being kind of arguably boring unless you're like really into tactics and then like you would love it. But I think that they did a good job. It's kind of impressive to me that you have such good attacking players, but she was able to get them to actually stick to a defensive, like keeping their form kind of shape. I thought there wasn't really too much. I was expecting Brazil to get frustrated, which I think that kind of more played out in the second half than it did in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wasn't. There were shots taken, but it wasn't anything that I was really like, oh, this is like so entertaining. This is so great. There wasn't too much going on, I feel like, in that first half.
Sounds good. Saucy, your thoughts on the second half?
Second half, that's where things I think picked up or started to pick up, and eventually going into like the extra time and going into penalties. I mean, just like any other game, it's going to start from the first half, maybe being depending on what teams are facing each other, maybe not as entertaining as it would be later on into the game. I thought Brazil was pressing hard in the second half, especially a couple of runs from Marta that I can remember that I was like, that is why she's probably one of the best football players in the world because of the way she's able to play and how technical she is. More so this.
And Karen, some of your thoughts second half and just overall thoughts on the game for you, Karen.
Yeah, I think Sweden did a really good job, especially in the first half, of kind of stymieing Marta, which is not easy to do. So that was really impressive. And at the same time, it was really, really difficult to keep watching just because it was just so boring. You have like a Brazilian team that's always just really exciting to watch, even when they're losing. They're so exciting to watch. The ball movement, like the super snazzy plays that Marta makes, they're just like really fun to watch. And in this game, they were way less fun. Especially with the way that they closed down Marta, because she's definitely the most exciting player to watch, I think, in the game, honestly. Especially on the international level. So the way that they were able to close her down says a lot about Sweden's defense. But then in the second half, she started getting chances, like Saucy said, and they were gorgeous chances. Unfortunately, she didn't capitalize, which I think has been a problem for all teams throughout this entire tournament. And they go into the PKs, and Sweden does what they do best with Lindahl, their keeper. She makes those stops that she needs to make, and you get experienced team against less experienced team that Brazil is, with a couple of younger players, and Sweden takes it. I think that they executed their game plan perfectly, and Brazil was not prepared whatsoever.
Yeah, just some quick thoughts to wrap it up. It was just one of those things where Sweden came in with their game plan. They were trying to get that counter. They knew they were playing against a technical side that probably had a lot of talent that was trying to break them down. I mean, the U.S. Women's National Team was trying to break them down as well. And they sat back, waited, and then once it got to a certain point, as they said, Pia wanted to go into the halftime with it drawn, and then later, if you get later in the game, you can get that one smash and grab counterattack and steal the game from the other team. So Sweden did what they had to. Once they got into the PKs, I felt like Sweden definitely had it. It was one of those games where I think my personal opinion was, I guess many people were riding that Brazil was going to take it, and I kind of was actually leaning a little bit more towards Sweden. I'm starting to feel like they have that feeling of Portugal in the Euros, where it doesn't look pretty. It's real defensive, and it's just like probably one little counterattack or one goal to win you a game, but it gets the job done, and you end up with the medal or the championship at the end. So I'm starting to feel like this is the women's version of Portugal in the Euros from this summer. So it's I mean, I can see them taking that. We'll talk about that later and stuff. So let's move on to Germany versus Canada. Let's start with you, Saucy. Your expectations going into the Germany versus Canada game?
As far as Germany, I think they've been doing pretty well with at least the quarterfinals when they faced off against China. I mean, for me, like that quarterfinal game, I was like, it's all Germany. It's got to be all Germany. China, as a rising team, they would do well against Germany, but I mean, I was sort of expecting them to win and kind of bring that momentum into Canada. But with Canada, with the teams that they faced off so far and how well they've pressed against like France and Australia, I was expecting Canada to come around this game. I was, especially with Janine Becky. Janine Becky, oh my God, especially with scoring the fastest, goal in women's soccer Olympic history, under like 20 seconds in like the Australian game. So I was sort of expecting Canada to come away with this, but that's not what happened.
Not at all. Let's go into the first half. Of you, Karen, your thoughts of the first half?
Yeah, I mean, Germany kind of underperformed for the German team throughout the group stage, and then they kind of were picking it up with games that they went into after the group stages. So I expected them to come out a lot stronger against Canada, because Germany is just that team that when they have to put on the performance, they're going to do it because they're Germany. So that's basically what we saw in the first half. They had most of the ball. They looked like one team. They looked like a really solid, well-oiled unit, what we're used to expecting from them. And Canada, I just don't think, especially in the second half, but in the first half as well, I just don't think that they have the talent that can take on a German team when they are firing on all cylinders, and that's exactly what Germany was doing. So Canada was just kind of hanging on in that first half. And the PK, that was in the first half, right? When Buchanan took out Pop? I was expecting that to happen because Buchanan is just one of those players that I think gets a lot of credit for being a really good defensive or center fullback, but she's also a little inexperienced with her tackles, and when you make a rough tackle over and over and over in the box, you're going to get a PK called on you, and that's exactly what happened, and I think Pop took advantage of that in a really smart way. And then you have Behringer, who just, like, that PK was sick, man. Like, she just blasted it. I don't know if anybody, male, female, 10 feet tall, could have stopped that. Like, it would have just gone right through their hand.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. It was insane. So, I mean, like I said, Germany does what they have to do when they have to do it, and they got it done in the first half.
Yeah, quick thing about that Buchanan thing, because I remember just seeing that while I was watching it back. You could tell, like I said, it could be a good, strong defender, one of those ones that's going to do those crushing tackles and really just, really lift the crowd with some of those tackles. But you can see the inexperience, because I was watching the angle. I said, yep, that's a young player mistake, because the angle, there's no way she was getting that ball off a tackle. It was one of those ones where she'd have been better off giving her a little body or trying to just cut the angle off and just kind of push her off the ball. But I was just like, yep, that's inexperience right there. So
full player tackle. Like, the ball wasn't anywhere near it, and I was
Nope. And it was just like young defender mistake. That's the first thing I called. I was like, yep, I can see a young defender making that mistake. Danica, thoughts on the second half?
I think Karen hit a lot of good points. I think that Germany's starting to kind of peak and really get into their rhythm, and you saw that. Same thing, I think the announcers were loving Buchanan so much, but I don't know. I guess I'm just not quite on the Buchanan train, and I think that showed it. And I feel like they kind of do it to themselves. Like, granted, like the second goal maybe not, but like that first goal was just because it was a dumb thing to do kind of a thing. I thought that Matheson brought a lot of life back to the Canada team, and they started to have a lot more opportunities. And I think that kind of goes when she didn't start. There were questions like, what's going on there? But I think maybe that was the goal, is that she's going to come in second half and like get the team going if you happen to have that loss. But unfortunately for them, like they never were able to actually capitalize or get anything out of it. Yeah, but I think everyone else kind of hit the main points.
Yep. Saucy, just your thoughts on the whole game in general?
On the whole game? First of all, I mean, just looking at Germany's history, I sort of knew that they were going to be like a strong team to face against, and I was really hoping that Canada was going to be able to pull through, especially with like the momentum they've been bringing through the entire Olympics, and even like a little before the Olympics started. But I mean, exactly like what everybody else said. Nobody was able to capitalize, or like, I mean, there was tons of chances, but nobody kind of pulled through on those chances, and it sucks. But honestly, Germany put on a really, really, really good game. So
yeah. Canada's just one of those teams for me that's always just like never had enough. It's like I like what their team looks like now with the young pieces mixed in with some of the veterans, and hopefully some more young pieces come up where some of these young players develop a bit more, because a lot of their players have stalled off where they're not. You can't call them like how the U.S. women's national team people always say, oh, there you got world-class players in every position, or Germany has world-class players in every position. It would be like Canada players, like some of their best players would be almost, other than Sinclair, it would be like a peg or two under that. And I'm hoping some of these young players from actually continue to develop, because like like Becky and Buchanan, and they're still kind of young, so it's a matter of seeing if Buchanan continues to develop as a defender. Because, like I say, you're going to make young defenders, even veteran defenders, make mistakes, and then just Fleming and Becky continue to develop as going forward. And then if they do, then the sky's the limit. But then still, Canada has to find other players to really develop around them. That's always been the case with having a Sophie Schmidt or Sinclair, and then nothing else, or just like some people are just so high on Tancredi, and then not much else around it. Then what are you going to do with only like about three? Or one amazing player, two pretty good ones, and then everyone else just kind of just there to pass the ball to them for the most part. Or and Matheson, I forgot about her, but it looks like they're almost building like a second version of that, where they're going to have a really good defender, a good midfielder, and good striker. But then it's like, come on, so some of their other young talent really has to start to develop for Canada. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that Canada peaks, and we're all like, woo! I mean, they look really great, and then you see like Germany peak, and you're like, oh shit.
Right, yep.
Everybody move. Like, same with like the U.S. team. They peak and you're like when they peaked against Germany in the World Cup, you were like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, and I don't think Canada at their peak is there yet. Maybe in the future, maybe if they get more youth who have that like power to just keep climbing and climbing and climbing, getting better and better. But I don't think they have that yet.
No, not yet. Yep, but you're right about that. It's really going to be a matter of how their youth continues developing. It's good to even see them have some great players come up, but they're just like a lot of teams around the world. You have one or two, but one or two sometimes just isn't ever going to be enough to really take over the likes of some of the top teams out there. Yeah. All right, guys, let's give a quick. We're gonna probably just give who we think going to win the final. A little bit of things team win it. I'll start with you first, Danica. Who do you have winning in the final?
I don't know. This is because it's coach against coach, and it's whether Germany could take from 2 games now, seeing what it is, but then like kind of adjusting. And I know it's Olympics, it might be hard to like suddenly like, okay, we're actually gonna try this right now. That might be hard, but I think Need is a really stellar coach, and so I think she definitely has the skill to do that. Like, I don't think there's like it's just more of a will it actually happen kind of thing. And so I think that it all depends on, we know what Sweden's gonna do. They're gonna stay compact, so it just depends on whether Need can get her team together. So saying that, I'll say Germany, but well, I don't know. I'm really bad at predicting things, so who knows?
Give me that score, homie.
Oh, God. I'll say 1-0.
Fine.
Fine. So yeah, I think it's gonna come down to the coaching again. I don't know about Sweden doing the bus parking again because they did it 2 games in a row. They went into extra time 2 games in a row. They went into PKs 2 games in a row. That's physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausting. I don't care if you're a robot. Like, Wally would have troubles in that situation. Like, they're going to be tired. And I don't know if... don't shake your head at me, DJ. I don't know if Pia is going to want to put the team in that situation again. I don't know if they can outlast Germany. That hasn't gone into any extra times if they do that bus parking, push it into overtime type of thing. So I don't know if Pia's going to change the tactic or if she's just going to try and stick it out. So that's why I'm having a hard time figuring it out. I think Germany can break down the Swedish defense, though. And I think that Sylvia Need, like Danica said, is super smart. And she's going to figure out how to beat Sweden. So I say Germany wins 2-0.
Okay. Saucy.
Oh gosh. Man, those are all really good points. I was gonna say Sweden.
See, these panelists are good. My people are good. They're good people.
Stick with it.
Yeah. Mainly because, like, first of all, yeah, that defensive tactic, it's working for them, and that's kind of why I see Germany is that's what I'm saying. Like, people are sort of expecting Germany to peak like at the final. They're going to play the best that they have so far in the Olympics, but Sweden is going to come I think they're going to come really strong with the defensive, and also what Karen said. I don't know if Pia is going to do the same exact thing that they have been doing the past games because they're probably going to be exhausted at that point doing the same thing 3 games in a row. So I feel like they may try to break away a little bit from that and try a little bit of offensive, but also still keeping that strong defense. And then at the same time, I saw this documentary recently over the Swedish national team, and it's called The Other Sport. From 2013, and just based on their history and sort of what the team has been going through the past few years, like the thing is, I don't know about the other teams as well. I could be like paying attention to them and being like, oh well, I could say this about Germany or I could say this about any other team that has gone through the Olympics so far. But from what I've seen of Sweden, and especially through Pia and what she believes in the national team, I feel they have like a really big opportunity to take the final, or to take the gold, so to speak, because of how hungry they are to win. Just based on what the team has gone through, facing the media, and how almost Sweden kind of like shuns the national team whenever they don't do good, or whenever the only way that they'll be able to get praised by their countries is if they're the top, if they're the best in the world, essentially. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they have an extra push to kind of do even better than they have been doing. So that's sort of why I say Sweden, but that's all speculation. So that could be entirely wrong, and they'll go 3-0 with Germany winning. I don't know. That's sort of my take on it.
So what's your score?
Oh, what is my score? Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Oh man, it might have to go down to penalties again.
Oh, Nick.
Like, I don't want to say like a number over like 0, but I have like a strong feeling it may have to go to penalties again. But I don't know.
And your winner is
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden. You don't escape me. Yes, no one escapes me. All right, so for me, I think I don't know. This game could go into extra time, but if it goes in extra time, it's funny. I've been just feeling Sweden lately. I mean, I'm always down for the defensive, structured teams that can steal a little goal from you. Sometimes those teams are the teams that don't play the most beautiful football out there, but it's like what they're doing is winning and frustrates other teams enough with last-ditch defending and just making that one good, doing that one good little bit of build-up that can get the goal, that can win it. Everyone's going to be right in Germany. No one's going to really – a lot of people aren't giving Sweden a chance because they're so taxed after all this extra time stuff. But I just feel – I don't know. I got something about it with these teams. Like I said, I'm feeling like a Portugal in the Europe and we'll watch them. And I think Pia's going to She's going to have her team ready. They're going to have to be motivated. Germany's going to be really ready, motivated. They're going to come out attacking. Germany's going to definitely get more shots. They're going to look the better of the teams for most of the game. But I think Sweden can really nick it. And I'm going to go 1-0 in extra time.
Woo.
I just want to see Lotta go out with a goal.
I said 1-0 and you scoffed.
Hey now. Hey now. All right, guys, enough of us messing around. Now we're going to actually pick a winner for that U.S. Women's National Team. What did I say? Start. So, this is what you've all been waiting for, right? Someone's getting something free. So, the first thing we're going to do here is I've written the names on some tissue papers that was just like lying around the house. So I'm going to say the name of each person.
You couldn't even get like a real piece of paper?
No, that cost $1. I'm not buying
Just
that.
so you like for at Octopus. We can't even get paper.
So anyway.
Toilet paper.
They deserve the best. Their names all deserve it. So the first person is Stephanie. I believe it's Hasui. Sorry if I messed your name up. That's from Facebook. Maddie, Dora. We're gonna try to make sure we're gonna try to get you guys something, even if you don't like come out on top of this. I believe these are the Tumblr people that Karen picked out. DP Soccer, Mutterly Dastardly from Tumblr. Now the Twitter choices, but only for now. And at Sam Bourne. Ooh, that name's sick. At Sam Bourne 28. So we're gonna put the hats. I mean, we're going to put the hats. We're going to put the names in this hat.
In the Canada hat, no.
In the Canada hat. There you go, Canada.
Come on, Canada. We're giving you one last push. Why is my Canada hat messed up, my Mountie hat? I don't know. Okay. So, we're going to ball off the names, put them in the hat, and then we're going to pick out one, right? Because that's how this goes, right?
Yeah.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Someone wins something free. Here we go.
Suspense.
Here we go.
Gosh.
Lasting a really long time.
The facial expression's key, though.
Yeah.
All right, so the winner of the U.S. Women's National Team scarf is Stephanie Hasua. Huh?
Let's go, Steph.
Facebook.
Right.
You won, Stephanie. There we go. Stephanie has won.
That's beautiful.
And the rest of you will try to get you guys something. You know, there's a bunch of little trinkets and stuff I can figure out since I'm paying for some of that. All right, guys. That was a fun episode. What do you guys think?
I thought it was fun.
That was great.
All right, perfect. Just making sure. So I'll contact Stephanie, make sure she's good. Thank you, Saucy, once again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, where can they find you again? Just so some of the viewers that might have just showed up now know where to find you again.
Oh, so you can just YouTube Saucy Bird. I'll be the first thing that pops up.
There's only one Saucy Bird in this.
Yeah, there's only one. There's actually
Saucy Bird.
Yeah, there's a band out there called the Saucy Birds. So not to be confused with the band of multiple people. It's just one. It's me, and it's actually a bird with like sauce for itself. You know, there's sauce on the bird.
Disgusting. All right, guys, another episode of Off the Post. I'm your host, DJ Redcap. So tune in on the 21st. We're gonna talk about how that went, and then that's that. We're gonna get back to NWSL action. Be sure to tune in and watch the Dash game because we all know NWSL is fun, and we're gonna have tons of other special guests coming on because we like having guests on. They're cool. See you guys. We got to show Saucy how to end. Oh, he knows how to end the show. Look,
he already knows.
What is happening? What is happening in this